Have you ever stopped to think that some encounters in your life seem to have a special meaning? Those moments when you feel as if you were destined to meet that person, as if you already had a deep connection with them, even if it's the first time you are seeing each other. These feelings are not mere coincidences. They may be signs of something much greater: soul contracts. It is believed that before we are born, we make spiritual agreements with other souls. These agreements connect us to people who will play significant roles in our journey of growth and learning. Each of these connections brings with it valuable lessons, challenges that help us evolve, and blessings that illuminate our path. Isn't it amazing to think that even before we arrived in this world, we were already charting a plan with God to meet those who would help us become who we truly are? Today, we will explore together the 7 most powerful signs that indicate you are bound to someone by a soul contract. Each of these signs is an opportunity for you to take a closer look at the spiritual journey that is unfolding in your relationships. Sometimes we may feel lost or confused about the people who enter our lives, but by recognizing these signs, we can better understand the purpose behind each connection. These experiences are not just about what happens on the surface. They invite us to dive deeper into our spirituality and recognize the beauty of the divine plan that is at work. Throughout this video, we will unveil these signs and reflect on how they can impact our lives in surprising ways. Before we continue, I would like to ask you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. This way, you can follow more inspiring messages like this and join us on this journey of discovery and spiritual growth. Now, let's explore these connections that transform our lives together. One of the most striking signs of a soul contract is instant recognition. Have you ever had the experience of meeting someone and right from the first encounter, feeling an inexplicable bond? It's as if, somehow, you have known each other for a long time, even if you have never met before. This feeling is the language of souls, a communication that goes beyond words and logic. When we talk about this inexplicable connection, we are referring to a deep feeling that envelops us. It is an affinity that brings comfort and security, but it can also generate intense emotion. You may feel at ease with this person, as if you were talking to an old friend, even if it is the first time you are seeing each other. This experience is one of the most evident signs that there is something special between you. In the Bible, we find a passage that illustrates this idea well. In John 10:14, Jesus says, "I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me." Just as the shepherd knows his sheep, our souls also recognize the people that God has placed in our path. This recognition is not just a matter of affinity. It is a sign that there is a divine purpose behind this meeting. These connections can arise in different contexts, in friendships, romances, or even in casual encounters. You may meet someone at a party, at work, or even in a grocery store line, and feel that something deeper is happening. Trust that feeling. It can be a divine reminder that this person has a special role in your life. This inexplicable connection may be accompanied by synchronicities. For example, you may notice that upon meeting this person, several coincidences start happening. Perhaps you share common interests, similar life stories, or even mutual friends. These synchronicities are signs that the universe is conspiring in favor of this connection, reinforcing the idea that it was not just a chance encounter. It is important to remember that this connection is not just about what happens in the moment. It can be a gateway to a deeper and more meaningful relationship. Sometimes, these connections can lead us down a path of self-discovery and growth. By connecting with someone who resonates on such a deep level, we are invited to explore parts of ourselves that we may not have known before. Moreover, this connection can help us face challenges. Often, the people with whom we feel this special bond can challenge us to grow and evolve. They may prompt us to reflect on our beliefs, values, and even on who we are. This dynamic can be uncomfortable, but it is an essential part of the spiritual growth process. By allowing ourselves to go through these experiences, we can become better versions of ourselves. Another fascinating aspect of this connection is the feeling of belonging. When we are near someone with whom we have a soul contract, we often feel that we are home. This person accepts us as we are, with all our imperfections and vulnerabilities. This feeling of acceptance is a divine gift, a reminder that we are not alone on our journey. Sometimes these connections can be so intense that we feel compelled to act. We may feel the need to reach out to this person, to share our thoughts and feelings, or even to make plans for the future. This urgency is a sign that the connection is true and meaningful. It's as if our souls are communicating, asking us to unite in a deeper way. It is essential to be open to these experiences and allow them to flow naturally. Sometimes, we may feel hesitant or insecure about how to proceed, but it is important to trust the process. Allow the connection to develop at its own pace. Do not be afraid to explore this relationship and discover what it can offer. Finally, remember that these connections are gifts from God. Every person who enters our lives has a purpose, even if we may not fully understand it at first. By recognizing and valuing these connections, we align ourselves with the divine plan that has been laid out for us. So, the next time you feel that inexplicable connection with someone, do not ignore it. Trust what your heart is telling you and allow this relationship to develop. You may be about to embark on a transformative journey that will enrich your life in ways you never imagined. These connections are true spiritual gifts, and each one has the potential to lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose in this life. Have you ever stopped to think about how some people enter your life exactly when you need them the most? These encounters are not mere coincidences. They are divine synchronicities, moments carefully orchestrated by God to align our paths. Often, these connections arise in times of uncertainty or difficulty, bringing with them the help and support we need. Imagine the following situation. You are thinking about someone, perhaps a friend or a family member, and suddenly, that person reaches out to you. It could be a message, a call, or even an unexpected meeting. This experience is more common than you might think, and is a clear example of how synchronicities work in our lives. It's as if the universe is conspiring in our favor, bringing the right people at the right time. These encounters can manifest in various ways. Sometimes you may meet someone who has exactly what you needed to hear in a moment of difficulty. It could be advice, a word of encouragement, or even a new perspective on a problem you were facing. In Proverbs 16:9 we read, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." This passage reminds us that while we may have our own plans and intentions, it is God who truly guides our steps. These synchronicities are proof that God is actively orchestrating your journey. Each encounter, each conversation, and each moment of connection has a greater purpose. Sometimes we may not immediately understand the meaning of these encounters, but when we look back, we can see how everything fits together perfectly. It's as if we are following a divine map that leads us to where we need to be. Be attentive to these special moments in your life. They may present themselves in subtle ways, or even more evident forms. It could be a person who appears at a social event, someone you meet in an unexpected situation, or even a message that arrives at a crucial moment. These experiences are invitations for you to trust the process and recognize that there is something greater at work. Moreover, synchronicities can also help us reflect on our own intentions and desires. When we meet someone who seems to have an answer to our questions, or who inspires us to move forward, it is a sign that we are aligned with our purpose. These connections can motivate us to act, to make decisions, and to move forward on our journey. It is important to remember that while these synchronicities may seem magical, they are, in fact, manifestations of divine love and guidance. God cares for us and desires for us to have the experiences and relationships that will help us grow and evolve. By recognizing these synchronicities, we open ourselves to receive the blessings that are available to us. Sometimes, we may feel lost or disoriented on our journey, but it is in these moments that synchronicities become even more significant. They remind us that we are not alone and that there is a greater plan at work. When you encounter a synchronicity, take a moment to reflect on what it might mean for you. Ask yourself, what is this connection teaching me? How can I seize this opportunity to grow? These encounters are not just about the people we meet, but also about what we learn from them. Each interaction has the potential to teach us something new about ourselves and about the world around us. By being open to these lessons, we can become more aware of our own spiritual growth. Finally, remember that divine synchronicities are an essential part of our journey. They help us understand that we are all interconnected and that each of us plays an important role in the lives of others. By recognizing and valuing these experiences, we align ourselves with the divine plan that has been laid out for us. When we talk about spiritual connections, it is important to understand that not all of them bring immediate comfort. Often, those with whom we have soul contracts challenge us in ways that can be uncomfortable or even painful. These challenges are an essential part of our spiritual growth and evolution. They force us to look within ourselves, confront our weaknesses, and face fears that we might otherwise avoid. These people who enter our lives with a greater purpose can help us overcome traumas and deal with issues we have kept buried for a long time. For example, you may meet someone who inadvertently touches on an emotional wound you thought you had overcome. This interaction can be challenging, but it is a valuable opportunity for healing and growth. Instead of viewing these moments as punishments or difficulties, it is crucial to recognize them as learning opportunities. The Bible reminds us of this in James 1:3-4. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces perseverance, and let perseverance have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. This passage teaches us that the challenges we face are not in vain. They have a purpose. Each difficulty we encounter is a chance to develop our faith and resilience. As we go through these trials, we are becoming stronger and more complete. When you encounter a challenging situation in a relationship, it is natural to feel frustrated or even discouraged. However, it is important to remember that these experiences are part of the process of spiritual evolution. The people who challenge us often play a vital role in our journey. They help us see aspects of ourselves that we need to work on and become more aware of our reactions and behaviors. These challenges can manifest in various ways. Sometimes it may be a difficult discussion with a close friend that reveals fundamental differences in your beliefs. Other times, it may be a romantic relationship that tests your limits and forces you to confront insecurities. Regardless of the form they take, these challenges are opportunities for reflection and growth. It is essential to approach these moments with an open mindset. Instead of shutting down or resisting what is happening, try to see the situation as a chance to learn. Ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? How can I use this to become a better person? This approach can transform a difficult moment into an opportunity for significant growth. Additionally, it is important to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Often, the people who challenge us are also going through their own struggles and learnings. By recognizing this, we can cultivate empathy and understanding, both for ourselves and for others. This mutual connection can help soften the challenges and create a safe space for growth. Sometimes these challenges may seem overwhelming. But it is crucial to maintain faith that everything is part of a greater plan. God is always with us, guiding us through difficulties and helping us find the way to healing and transformation. By trusting this process, we can open ourselves to the lessons being presented to us. Finally, remember that every challenge you face is an opportunity to become the best version of yourself. The spiritual connections that bring difficulties are, in fact, disguised gifts. They help us grow, heal, and become more aware of who we are and what we need to move forward on our journey. When you meet someone with whom you have a soul contract, one of the most striking experiences is the sense of belonging and security that this connection brings. It's as if, alongside this person, you can truly be yourself, without masks or defenses. This person makes you feel accepted and understood, even in your vulnerabilities. It is a safe space where you can share your fears, dreams, and insecurities, knowing that you will be embraced with love and understanding. This deep bond is a reflection of divine care. God places us in contact with people who help us feel whole and valued. In Psalms 55:22, we are encouraged, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you." This passage reminds us that just as God sustains us on our journeys, these connections also offer us support in times of uncertainty. They remind us that we are never alone, even when life seems challenging. The sense of belonging that arises in a soul connection is unique. You may feel that this person understands you on a level that goes beyond words. It's as if your souls recognize and connect with each other in a way that transcends time and space. This experience can be especially powerful in moments of crisis or transition, when you need support and understanding the most. These connections not only provide us with a sense of belonging, but also help us grow. When we are surrounded by people who accept us as we are encouraged to explore our true identities and become the best version of ourselves. This acceptance creates a conducive environment for personal and spiritual growth. You feel free to express yourself, experiment, and even fail, knowing that you will have unconditional support. Moreover, these relationships teach us about the importance of vulnerability. Often, we are afraid to show our weaknesses, fearing that it will make us less worthy of love and acceptance. However, when we find someone who fully accepts us, we learn that vulnerability is, in fact, a strength. By sharing our struggles and insecurities, we create deeper and more meaningful bonds. This exchange of experiences strengthens the connection and helps us understand that we all face challenges. The sense of belonging also reminds us that we are part of something greater. When we are connected to someone by a soul contract, we feel that our lives are intertwined in a special way. This connection helps us realize that our experiences are not isolated, but are part of a larger mosaic of relationships and interactions. Each person who enters our lives brings with them a lesson, a blessing, or a challenge that helps us grow. In times of uncertainty, these connections become even more valuable. They offer us a safe harbor where we can take refuge and find comfort. When life presents us with difficulties, having someone by our side who understands and supports us can make all the difference. These relationships remind us that we are not alone in our struggles, and that there is always someone willing to help us carry the burden. Finally, it is important to cultivate and value these connections. Sometimes we can get distracted by the demands of everyday life and forget to nurture the relationships that bring us this sense of belonging. Take time to connect with the people who are important to you. Show gratitude for them and recognize the vital role they play in your life. Soul contracts are divine gifts, planned by God even before we were born. They not only teach us, but also shape us, transforming our journey into something much more meaningful. Each person who crosses your path can be a key to unlocking new levels of growth and spiritual understanding. In 2025, be attentive to the people who enter your life. Some of them may be exactly what you need to move forward on your journey. Remember that God is in control, guiding you through each experience and relationship. Trust that each connection has a purpose, and that by embracing these relationships, you will be aligning with the greater plan He has for you. If you have already encountered someone like this, be grateful for that connection. And if you have not yet found it, trust in God's perfect timing. He knows your paths and will always guide you to where you need to be. These connections are opportunities for growth and learning, and each one has the potential to enrich your life in ways you never imagined. Did you enjoy this message? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring these profound spiritual truths. May you continue to recognize and embrace the divine ties that enrich your journey. By valuing these connections, you will be aligning with the greater purpose that God has for you, allowing your life to become a reflection of divine love and wisdom. May each reunion be a celebration of life and an opportunity for growth, and may you always find comfort and inspiration in the connections you have formed along the way.